Welcome back to Liberty Underground on the 1787 Radio Network. All right, well, let's get into a little bit of our campaign trail stories. We've had an interesting couple of weeks on the campaign, and, things have been going really well for us out there. Hey, Danielle, where we been this week? What have we been doing?
Okay, well, just over the weekend we went to Melbourne, and then we left from Melbourne to...
what were we doing at Melbourne?
Well, okay, I'll go through all of it. I was just going to say the cities, and then we can go into each one.
All right, go ahead. No, do it your way.
And we went straight from Melbourne over to the Panhandle in Jackson County.
What were we doing in the Panhandle?
I hate you guys.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And last week we were also in Volusia.
Yep.
So that was really great. But we were in Melbourne for the opening of the Florida Can Office, which is the Cannabis Action Network. And we got to see Kathy Jordan again and Jody James.
She's looking great, by the way.
Oh,
Kathy's looking good.
Kathy looks fantastic.
And for those of you that don't know the story of Kathy Jordan, she's the lady, she suffers from Lou Gehrig's disease. And she uses marijuana medicinally because it is outstanding in alleviating her symptoms, reducing her pain.
Keeping her alive.
She grew her own plants in her house, used it, medicinally in her house. In the 2013 legislative session, there was a bill which the Libertarian Party of Florida was supporting, lobbying for very hard. And wrote, that was actually called the Kathy Jordan Medical Cannabis Act.
Yeah.
And that was going through the legislature, and it was moving along pretty good, surprisingly. All of a sudden, Kathy's house gets raided as the bill is moving through the house.
With masked agents.
And they seized all her plants, and they were originally under instructions to arrest her, but they decided after seeing this woman who is confined to a wheelchair, has only minimal use of her right hand, and is paralyzed basically, throughout the rest of her body. I guess they decided that, they couldn't bring themselves to actually arrest her. So I guess, Danielle, they just cited her. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that, what they do
and now the charges have been completely dropped, thankfully.
They didn't cite her. What they do is they do what's kind of an arrest with a release, an ROR on the
immediately,
scene.
Yeah.
So basically, they never actually take you in. They book you on the scene and release you on the scene right there.
Right. Which, at least that's fortunate that they didn't try to, cuff her and,
Considering she's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the use of her arms hardly at all.
Right. So we were over in Melbourne for the grand opening of the Florida Cannabis Action Network office there. Great event, great turnout. Rained like hell.
Oh, yeah, it was raining a lot.
But it was nice. It was great to see Jody as well.
James Ray was there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, so
Charco.
That's a group that
in the pouring rain.
We fully support.
Cooking.
I'm happy to promote them and to be involved with them in any way I can, because I really think that they are the best group in Florida to get involved with. If you're for legalization, if you're for medical marijuana, if you're for complete legalization, decriminalization, industrial hemp,
yeah.
These are the folks to support. The Florida Cannabis Action Network. So we were over there for the grand opening.
Right. And then,
unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of time to spend there because of the schedule.
And then we had to make our way up to Jackson County. And on the way, we stop at rest stops and stuff because it's, a few hundred miles. And so every once in a while, you don't have a gag. You're driving through a lot of big stretches of nothing. So we stop at a lot of rest stops.
And I drink a lot of soda while I'm driving.
Yes, gallons.
So, yeah. So I do have to actually stop, relatively frequently at rest stops.
So we have done the Wyllie campaign tour of the rest stops of the state of Florida.
I think we've seen all of them at this point.
And we stop at one, and I'm out of the bathroom already, and I'm looking around, and I see this. They always have the map in the middle of the rest stop to kind of say you are here on the map of all of Florida. And I see right under this map, this you are here, that it says, don't drink water.
3 words. Don't drink water.
Just printed out on a
Not-
piece of paper,
No,
taped.
no arrow. It's not above a water fountain, anything like that. It just says don't drink water.
Right. And then several feet down from there on a pole, it says water being tested. But if you weren't standing there for a while looking, you actually wouldn't have seen both signs at the same time. But the one that was right at eye level says don't drink water. So
Ever.
yeah. So there's another family there, and they're looking at this same map. And all of a sudden, the kid comes over, and he must have gone to the vending machine, and he's got a bottle of water that he gets out of the vending machine, and he twists open the cap. And when you twist it open, it makes that little...
How's it go again?
So then the father looks over.
That is the official sound for how you open a bottle of water.
I want that as a sound effect, actually.
So that's also sprinkler. So the father looks...
Well, hold on a second here. Before we go any further, that's not necessarily sprinkler. Sprinkler's like...
Depends on the type of sprinkler you have.
You're right, but to give the generic sound of sprinkler and to differentiate between sprinkler and bottle of water is you got to have the whoosh part.
Okay.
So that's the differentiation. In case you were looking for... I wrote the rule on that one.
Okay. Now that we
Can you
have...
work in a baseball analogy so I understand it?
I'm only going to use the baseball analogy that we had on Untouchables.
I'm
Okay.
lost. Okay.
Al Pacino. Untouchables.
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
I got it. I
Okay.
got it.
Yeah.
Well, so the father looks over at this kid who's opened this bottle of water and goes, "Don't drink that. Didn't you see the sign?" And now I'm trying not to laugh.
Right.
And the kid goes, "It's a bottle." And he goes, "The sign says don't drink water." And he's like,
Ever.
the kid goes, "I don't think they meant the bottles." And the guy's like, "Well, do you see a water fountain?" And to this man's, defense, there was actually no water fountains near the area that we were at. And he goes, "So it has to be that's the only water around." And the kid looks at him and he goes, They don't bottle this water here. They bottle it in another city. I don't even think it's in Florida. I think the bottled water's okay." So now the father has to get the mother involved. And now the father's like hitting the mother on the arm. He's got a bottle of water. It says don't drink water. And she's like, now she's like, "Don't drink that." She's like in a panic that this kid is going to drink it. And then he goes, "No, they're just testing the water here." And she goes, "But then you don't know if they've tested that." And it's like this whole family starts debating whether he can drink the water. Finally, they made him throw it away. I mean, this kid was like, "Well, I was thirsty."
I didn't know that part. They actually made the kid throw the sealed bottled water
away.
out of the vending machine away.
Yeah.
Okay, folks. The only surviving member of that family, if the electricity goes out for a week,
Is
is
that
the
kid.
kid. Yeah.
The kid should be
It'll
in
do fine.
charge.
Yeah, right.
The kid needs to be telling the parents what to do. Obviously, the parents have drank in too much tap water.
right.
And he literally was like, he kept saying, "But it's a bottle. They don't even fill it here.
Right.
I got it from the machine."
There's not a hose in the back of the machine where it's filling and capping it as you push the button. But in fairness, the way the sign read, it could be interpreted that it's don't drink water anywhere on the planet ever. It didn't specify a radius of inclusion. It didn't specify a type of water. It didn't specify a time period. And since it was at a restaurant and it was a printed sign, it was obviously put there by a government official. And the government knows what's best for us, so we should follow that sign. So, folks, based on that information, I'm urging you not to drink water.
Ever.
Don't drink water.
I got to tell you, I'm really upset that you guys have decided to talk about this subject publicly. And here's why. Here's the reason why. You have now given the terrorists a tool in which to kill us. Because with 2 white pieces of paper at each rest stop, they're going to dehydrate the entire public. You guys are a danger to national defense. And I am now going to go and get a FISA court to have you both sent to Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, we're already on that list. In fact, now probably chances are we're going to have federal agents kicking in the door,
Yeah, they just bought a Xerox
Actually-
machine, and Al Qaeda is going, make me 20 copies. I need to go. I'm hitting I-4 tomorrow. We will dehydrate their asses to Allah.
Oh man. But yeah, quite frankly,
Put the C4 down and pick up the black toner.
Function anymore. I'm laughing so
I will
hard.
collate you to hell. You wait till they figure out scan to PDF, man. We're screwed. Iran has the capabilities of scanning to PDF. Their OCR software is 95% compliant.
and all they need to do is post a PDF on the internet that says "Do not look," and we can never open our eyes again.
Yeah, we'll all be blind. Right. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible.
Well, I mean, and if
We'll be falling off cliffs, driving our cars into buildings. It'll be chaos.
Cats and dogs talking
Living
to
together.
each other, living together. Mass hysteria.
it was just, and
Ghostbusters, by the way.
And now I'm standing there, and I'm not one to fake it. Like, if I don't like you, you're gonna know. And if I, if I think something's funny, I'm gonna laugh. Like, I'm not one. And I'm trying so hard.
I
not
walked
to
up at the
laugh.
tail end of this, and I saw you, and I could tell you were like, and there was this family there, and they were like in deep conversation. I couldn't hear what was going on, but it was like they were in this very serious contemplation here. And Danielle's kind of like standing right next to him, just, giggling, stifling a laugh. People, just wake up, please.
Well,
Please don't be so stupid. Stop being stupid, people.
Be honest with you, it's not their fault, man. It's a systemic problem. I mean, look, if you have to go to public school, man, more than likely you have now been dumbed down. Look, the reason the kid knew something is because he hasn't been fully converted yet.
That's right, yeah.
Little
How old
kids
was the
still
kid?
got
He
a
was
little
about
imagination.
13,
like
He
14.
was about 13, 14. And and he looked at them like, I don't even know what to do to make you understand.
You're not my real parents.
If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.